Welcome to the Socially Not There podcast.
People acting. People acting.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your snacks, grab your airheads, grab your Snickers. You know, people have beef with Snickers. Like, I don't know. Like, I need to surround myself with people who don't absolutely hate Snickers. But it's not like they hate Snickers. You just think it's mid. Like, how can you think Snickers are mid? Like, I just love Snickers. The blue Airheads are the best. Also, the blue Gatorade. Everything else is garbage. You're welcome. Not with the Airheads, though. Honestly, they kind of all taste the same. But it's whatever. Anyways, hello everyone. I'm Gabby, and this is the Socially Not There podcast. And this episode is going to contradict my whole life. Oh, you know what I have trauma with? The chips bags. Like, why is half of it empty with air? Like, why? And then like it annoys me too, because you know, like you're putting the snack in your purse and you're like, it's only this much actually having the snack, so why is all that air needed? And then it can't fit in your bag. And then like you think, oh, I have to use a Ziploc bag to put it in so I can like fold it, because like you can't really fold a snack bag because of the air, if that makes sense. And then you go into the kitchen and then there's no Ziploc bags. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about 3 books for the first episode. So I did recently make a podcast, but Spotify, it just won't allow me into the account. So good thing I have like the episodes still downloaded, so I still have them. I'm going to have to like edit out the first part and redo them and upload them. So those will be episodes 2 and 3 for now. But this is the first official episode on this podcast. The old one, like the one that I literally just created, but it won't allow me to log in, it was called Sweet Sauce's Podcast. But you know what? This one is Socially Not Their Podcast, because we're going to be talking about commentary, book and movie reviews, and maybe reading some Reddit stories and advice and stuff like that. So if you're interested, make sure to give it a follow. The issue with these books now is that I feel like they basically contradict my walk with... Yeah. But, like, yeah. Let's keep in mind that all of these books are, like, from different series. But I feel like if you've read, like, 2 of them out of the series, you're pretty much good to go. Like, you'll be satisfied with whatever they're... Like, over 2 is, like, an overkill, because then it's just... You know? But... they are polyamorous books, which means... So it's like the woman has more than one partners. So, yeah. If you're interested in any of these books after I've read the description for, like, the series or, like, all of them, then... And you're, like, not the type to read something based on spoilers. But I'm totally the opposite of that. Like, I have to have, like, a spoiler to, like, read or, like, watch whatever movie. Like, to see if I'm going to be interested in it or whatever. So, like, if, you know, like, when you're scrolling on TikTok and you see those, like, ones where it basically plays out a scene in the book for you, if that's not the kind of recommendation I'm getting, I don't want it. You know what I mean? So, the first series, I think, is called The Dark Side by Kristy Cunning. And the first book is called For Psychos. Right? So, here's a description. I'm not so different from most people. Like everyone else, I have life goals. Goal number 1, become a real girl instead of this invisible ghost thing I currently am. Goal 2, convince the 4 men I've been haunting for the past 5 years to pick me to be their new toy after goal 1 is complete. Goal 3, figure out who or what I am and why I can't remember anything past the 5 years I've been haunting this squad. Goal 4, eat popcorn. See, perfectly normal. Sort of. Gotta start small after all. It's not like anyone else is perfect either. And then it has language warning, dark humor galore, reverse harem, and sexual situations. Each of these books have about 3 to 4 books per series. And the second one, the series that I'm going to talk about now, is this story is a part of a whole bigger series. I'm gonna try to explain that better. So this half of the series is about a fake queen who basically ate her mother's heart so she can become the fake queen and escape abuse. So yep. Anyways, this one's called Psycho Academy by Jasmine, and it's a part of the Cruel Shiftverse series, and it's book number 4. But like the other 3 books before this were her best friend. So like the main character of Psycho Academy is Aran, right? And she's the fake queen, which is also abused by her mother, right? And then the previous 3 books are about her best friend. I'm gonna just read the description of like the first actual book in this series, and it's called Psycho Shifters, right? So it says, fight like a girl or a shifter of lore. After growing up with nothing, I finally found my path of freedom. I'm a shifter, an elite soldier who transforms into a monster. All I have to do is survive. I didn't count on my 3 6'5" roommates, covered in tattoos, jeweled and horned. These are like no men I've ever dealt with before. They don't think I belong. They don't think I'm strong enough for war. They don't think I can fight. I'm about to prove them wrong. The only problem, can I survive them, discovering the secrets of my past? In the battle for life and death, everyone is so much more than they seem. Jax, Asher, and Cobra are going to be devastated when they discover my truth. Just wait until they see my shifted form. This is a dark, paranormal, reverse harem bully romance, not for the faint of heart. The story is about 3 psycho alpha shifters and the girl who stands her ground. Slow burn. Yada yada yada. Right? I'm gonna tell you that only one of the books or like series I'm gonna be talking about, only one of them is not really a bully one. I hate bully romances so bad. Like The Darkest Note. If you know The Darkest Note, like that's an example of a bully book I hate. It irks my spirit, okay? Like every minute, like I'm just looking at the book and the male character's done something, I'm like, you're such a bitch. And like the hatred is there, and I hate the male character so bad. But we're not talking about, I don't even remember her name, but she's Aran's best friend, and like the first 3 books in the series are her books. But we're not talking about her. We're talking about Aran, the fake queen. So it starts of Psycho Academy, then it goes to Psycho Devils, and then Psycho Gods. The Psycho Gods one is not out yet, but I want to read it. So yeah, I've read the other 2 though. So let's start off. Oh, before I get into all the books, I'm just going through them. So, like, you can decide to leave now and go read them if you want and then come back later. But then the last book is Fate Hollow Academy. And this one's term 1. And this is by Lyra Winters. And the series called Fate Hollow Academy. Right, so let me read the description. It says, welcome to Fate Hollow Academy, where supernaturals blessed by the fates cultivate their manifested powers and master ancient magic. Fate Hollow is the academy of the elite, where supernatural beings with special magic train for war against humans. A big-hearted, naive Arctic fox shifter like me couldn't have prepared for the treachery lurking within the walls of the academy. Students were going missing or turning up dead on campus, and rumors circulated about humans infiltrating academy grounds. Seeds of fear bloomed within the student body. To make matters worse, the mate that rejected me was hell-bent on painting a bright red target on my back with the help of his new girlfriend. Against all odds, I found refuge with 7 irresistible monsters, each one more different than the last. Would the bond of my mates be enough to manifest my hidden power? Without it, I was vulnerable, and with the dragon cult attempting to wage war on humans, I had no choice but to fight. So they're all reverse harem, supernatural fantasy books. That's basically what they are. And I didn't read these because I'm interested in this type of genre. It just amused me when like I read the like descriptions or like the excerpt that I saw on TikTok or something. I'm like, huh, it's like funny or weird. This interests me, or like this amuses me, you know. So let us talk about the ghost girl in the wall. So we're going back to the ghost girl in the wall from Psycho Gods. Is that what it's called? Four Psychos. That's what it's called. Yeah. So Four Psychos again is by Kristy Cunning. So basically, she doesn't know who she is. So randomly 5 years ago, this girl just ceased to exist. Like, she just started existing, I guess. Not ceased to exist. But she started existing again. And people can't see her. No one can see her. She can see outside. You know the Disney movie, A Cinderella Story? The one with Selena Gomez and the other dude, right? And the scene where they're dancing and she's on the other side of the mirror. She can see what they're doing, but they can't see her. It's kind of like that. But instead, she's actually invisible. She can't touch anything. She's not tangible. She's not human at this point, right? None of them are ever human. But she's called Paca. But really and truly, her actual name is Apocalypse. And according to the book, it's Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen, right? And apparently she's the devil's daughter. And she has siblings. You know, like Lilith? So Lilith is one of her siblings, and she has other siblings. And it's like this whole trial and a bunch of obstacles that they have to go through. It's one amusing, weird book. But with sexual tension, essentially. So, like, so she's in this wall, and she's watching them being intimate with, like, other women. And she desires that. So, like, she wants to become real. Like an actual tangible human or whatever. I can't call them human because they're not human. I don't know what they are because they all possess some kind of magical power, right? So how she starts to become sort of tangible now is one day they're all in the house. They're sleeping, the four of them, right? They all have different rooms and stuff. And someone comes and attacks one of them, and she tries to protect them, like by rushing over to them and trying to protect them. And then when the person, instead of attacking the person who the attacker intended to attack, they attack her. Actually, I don't remember her name. Oh, I just said her name and I'm like, I don't remember her name. Her name is Apocalypse. I hate Paca, but that's what they call her, Paca, but her actual name is Apocalypse, right? So then she starts flickering into reality, but not really. So yeah, she can become tangible. But, like, as throughout the first book, like, half of the first book is just her learning to, like, actually stay solid. And she can, like, change her clothes and, like, other people's clothes. She has magical powers, essentially. They're kind of weird. But, yeah. You know what so, like, there's this trials, and the four dudes are competing. So she likes them. She takes a liking to them, and she's helping them prepare for these trials that they got to go through. I don't even remember the end goal of these trials. I don't remember, but they're about to do these trials, and it's like all kind of different. I don't even know what to call them because they're not people. You know what, we're gonna call them people. And all these other, like, different people are, like, beasts, monsters, whatever you want to call them, are competing for that same trial. And they have to go through, like, these weird-ass trials that most die from. But, like, she helps them and she goes through them. And then, so there's, like, this one girl that they used to be intimate with. Like, she was, like, one of the only girls that they would constantly be intimate with. So she got jealous one time, and she followed the, dude to go meet her, one of these dudes. That's the one that liked her the least, or like would not accept actually liking her. You know what I mean? This is like way further down in the book. But she dies. So she dies and the book ends there. And then the second book starts off with her arising from the dead like 10 years later, and then she pops up in front of them like, whoa, hey guys, what's up? I think this is after she figures out that the devil is her father. So much happens in that book. It's crazy. So much happens. You should go read it. That's all I have to say for this book. But I think, let's go to the other book that I want to talk about. And I have a lot to say. These men are bitches. I don't like them. But it's Psycho Academy. So there's this girl. She's just been abused and all of that stuff by her mom, who was the old Fae Queen. Right? So how you become Fae Queen, you ask? You have to eat out the heart. You have to like kill and like eat the heart of the old Fae Queen. So this girl kills her mom because she was tired of all the abuse. She eats her heart, and now she's the new Fae Queen. But the thing is, there's this vampire that was by her mom's side that kind of didn't do anything about the torture that was happening to her. But turns out that dude's her dad. See, as I said, I'm giving spoilers in this, so if you're like kind of interested or amused by these and you hate spoilers, leave this episode right now and then come back later after you've read them. Right? So now she left and she turns into a boy who's Aran. Is Aran her female name? I don't remember. Okay, this was quite a while ago. I didn't reread it for this episode. I just thought, let's run my mouth. But yeah, so she turns into this dude and she's Aran. Honestly, let me go see if I can look up some kind of summary on this so I can like see her female name, because I know her dude name is Aran. I don't know if that's her whole name, because the vampire dude who's her actual dad, who's actually looking for her, would have realized it was her if her actual name was Aran and she used it, but she disguised herself as a boy, right? Anyways, this is a bully romance, and I absolutely hated the dudes in these. So yeah, absolutely hated the dudes in these. I thought they were little bitches. The amount of time I paused reading the book and was like, you guys were bitches. But it's whatever. I thought maybe I could read some like Goodreads like reviews on here. I'm not gonna read the bad ones because I wasn't disappointed with it, so I'm not gonna read the bad ones or like the terrible ones. So we're on Goodreads right now, and this review is by Lucy V, and it's disgustingly long. Okay, she already did this book of 4 stars, but it's really long. There's a lot of death in this book, I guess, but it's whatever. So she starts off the review with a quote, and it says that this academy is built on 3 tenets. He paused, as if he was about to impart some great wisdom. But when he spoke, his voice dipped with an edge of sarcasm. First, we break you. Second, we break you. Third, we break you. See, they're so full of themselves. They're like misogynistic bitches. That's what they are. So, like, they use these women, but the women are not, like, allowed to touch them. Like, they even killed one woman one time. But, like, they use the woman sexually, and then they don't want them to touch them. Like, they act like they're everything, but they're really not. They're so disgusting. Oh, my gosh. They were so misogynistic. Like, it's crazy. Like, the way how they would talk about women. Like, the 3 dudes. Aran. Well, Aran didn't really say nothing. Did I mention? They're gay lovers. The 3 dudes. So they're gay devils. They're gay. They're 3 gay misogynistic devils. That's what they are. I never remember their names. Aran was one, though. I think my favorite out of all of them was Aran. That's why I remember his name. But one was Madeline, I think. And then there was the next one. So, yeah. You know where I think why they hate women? Because they got mommy issues. Yeah. So basically their dads really only got like some... So what they describe their moms as like some gold digging whores or whatever. So they were basically... So their dads basically used these women to carry them. Yeah. So maybe that's where their hatred for women comes from. Because they got mommy issues. Right? That's where their hatred comes from. They got mommy issues. So. Yep. Anyways. This person... what's her name again? Bro. And is this person Lucy V, like, basically described the beginning of the book perfectly. So she said, this book picks up right where Psycho Beasts ended. Aran is taken by Lothair. That's the vampire dude, I think. I think he's a vampire. He's supposed to be. To attend the elite academy to train and become the best of the best to serve the high court. While Aran has no desire to enroll in the academy, she's not given a choice after Lothair tastes her power. She's part of the academy now, and she can either survive the training or die trying. As if surviving the ruthless pace and daily torture Lothair says is not enough. Aran also needs to survive the 3 kings of the academy who are not happy at all to have a scrawny Fey boy join their elite assassins training program. With a few more slaps to the face, I channeled toxic masculinity. The key to acting like you had a dick was being a dick. They were so misogynistic in this book. Anyways, I always liked the quote, girl hiding as a boy trope, and I liked how Aran had pretended to be a Mako dude, but we could see through her thoughts how annoyed and disgusted she really was with the jerks recruits. It was pushed to the extreme a few times, but that's one of the reasons I love this series so much. It's just so intense and almost silly at times, while also being very dark and angsty. Bro, I loved her inner monologue. Her inner monologue was like so good, because she was low-key thinking what we were thinking, especially when dealing with the 3 gay dudes, the 3 gay devils, bully people. Yeah. Anyways, so Aran suffered a lot in the previous books of the series, and we can see the trauma even more clearly in this book. The drug used to push through the emotional pain, the depressive state, and suicidal thoughts. It was dark, but at the same time, oh yeah, suicide trigger warning, because she was really suicidal too. Well, she was abused and emotionally she was just not giving the parental attention and that she needed. She did not have any good parental figures. Anyways, it was dark, but at the same time it allowed the author to show Aran's resiliency and determination to push through and not let herself be beaten by her dead mother. What I'm even more curious about now is Aran's mysterious powers. We have more information on her lineage. Also, she's like half angel or something like that. Plus, she's a fae, and I guess she has, what's her dad? What did I just call him? The Lothair dude. What's his name? The vampire. Yeah, vampire. Right? We have more information on her lineage, but we still don't know much about her powers, and she's very powerful, or the beast that sometimes overwhelms her and takes over. And then this is another quote from the book, and it says, I jotted down notes in my notebook. I know dogs who can fight better than you. I nodded in agreement and scribbled, adopt, don't shop. My blind grandmother, who has weeks to live, could have reacted faster than you. Sorry, Fs. Well, she sounded fabulous, I wrote. Meet Lothair's grandmother before she dies. Seems urgent. Lothair is her dad, who she doesn't realize or know is her dad until later on in the book when they figure out that Aran is actually a girl. But yeah. The pace is good and yada yada yada. We don't care. Okay, so here's another quote from my book, and it says, living with these recruits was making me question my sexuality because as far as I could tell, men serve no purpose in society. I'd rather have intimate relations with a rock. At least a rock wouldn't insult me. I started debating whether a metamorphosed or igneous rock was cuter, then took a deep breath to stop myself. One aspect that could have been better developed is the relationship between the assassin trainees. We can see from the start that John takes a liking to Aran. John is a twin. He's like this twin, like half human, I think, and he's like a twin. I don't remember what their other half is. I don't remember. Like the other part of like their ancestry, I guess. Anyways, we can see from the start that John takes a liking to Aran, but the whole new budding friendship between Aran and Horace, I didn't see it or feel it. They bonded over bloodshed and carnage, but Horace had been a creepy, dangerous effort since the start, and that didn't seem to change. So why was Aran suddenly referring to him as one of her new close friends? Alright, so there was like this demon named Horace, I think, and he was basically killing a girl, and Aran was like, no, I'm not standing for this. And then she killed Horace. Yeah. But the thing is, Horace is actually her cousin. So is Lothair a vampire demon? He's something. Okay, guys, I don't remember. He's something. Right, so Horace is actually one of her cousins, but she didn't know that. And she killed him because she saw him killing a girl. And she decided to save the girl. And I think the girl was like mad at her or something after. I don't know. And yeah. I'm not against the idea of them becoming friends, but I didn't see the progression. I was just told that it happened and it was a fact now. Even their friendship between John and Aran seemed a little sudden in the first part of the book, and it took me a while to accept that they were truly friends and that there was no trick here because it happened so fast. I collect friends like Pokemon. I'm just like, hey, oh, you're my friend now. So that's literally me. So friendships can happen like that. Plus they can end like that. So who cares about that? Yeah. Alright, so here's another excerpt from a book, and it says, I never really thought about what I wanted in a male partner, but now I realized I wanted them to be completely unhinged, like super messed up in the head. I wanted to look at them and think, I'm normal. I giggled. The three fake kings were frothing at the mouth, trying to get me to reveal my secrets. Meanwhile, I was detaching from reality and building the perfect man. Sun God, I love being a woman. So this person, because remember, I'm reading this review, right? And it says, I enjoyed the bullying vibe in this book. It was similar to what Sadie went through in the Psycho Shifters, except Aran's conditions were much more worse. I put this book on my reverse harem shelf because I know it's heading in this direction, but don't. It's already reverse harem because she has two partners. So in the end, I read 2 books, like, right? So I might be shifting through them because I'm just collectively remembering the series as a whole, right? But like in the end, she ended up with the twins. So the first one is John, and I think the other one is Luca. But I didn't realize that they were twins. She didn't realize they were twins until like it came out when she realized, oh, John's different. But yeah. So like at the end of book 2, she ended up with them. And while the other, like the 3, here are their names now. Corvus, Scorpius, and Arion. But the 3 of them were just groveling for her attention because they were so mean to her and disgust. Like, which one was it? The one with fire powers? I think it was Corvus. Or Scorpius. It definitely was Aran. But one of them lit her on fire and she survived it and everyone was shocked. But she's like, bro, I've been through this. My mom used to treat me really horribly. Because her mom would, like, torture her literally. So this was, like, nothing to her. So, yeah. So, Scorpius has serious anger issues and needs to work on his temper and his restraint, but he also has this dark, mysterious aura that reminded me a little bit of Cobra when he gets unhinged. Well, more unhinged than he usually is. Aran is the one that doesn't talk unless he decides to, the pretty, soft, and apparently kinder one. But he has a dark side too, and he's just as dangerous and twisted as the others. The thing with Aran is low-key ghetto. But like Aran pretends to be like the best or like the sweeter, less bully one out of the 3, but he's just better at hiding his true feelings, I guess. So take it as you will. Read the book, you'll see. Right, so and then it says, as for Corvus, I will not even try to understand what is happening in his brain because the number of issues this dude has is impressive. Aran has a lot of work to do with him if we're expected to find him likable in future books. The whole women are weak and pathetic and useless except to F. Attitude was a little intense though, and I wonder why they despise women so much. I already told you they got mommy issues. That's why they despise women so much, right? To be honest, I trust that Aran will be able to show them the value of women and hopefully they will change their tune quickly, because no matter how hot they are, they're misogynistic jerks and have no respect for women. And I can't get behind such love interests, no matter how intriguing and badass they are. Lothair is also an interesting character in this book. While I don't care for him for 95% of the book, the epilogue broke my heart, and I admit that I am starting to like him. I hope that he will continue, yada yada yada. So, lately I've just had a sweet tooth. Like right now, I'm eating a donut with vanilla, a vanilla and chocolate donut. So, maybe I should have picked up the Christmas colors one. But yeah. If you're into bully romance, then I would recommend this book for you. But if you can't stand the misogyny, that's like one of the only things that really irked me in this book, is how bitchy these boys were. Like, I was like, bro, shut up. You know what I mean? That's it. Let's go to the final and last one. And this one is not a bully one. But like, after the first two books, like, you're kind of satisfied, I guess. I don't know, I get bored quickly, so keep in mind, the cover for this book is absolutely atrocious. It's treacherous. It's terrible, okay? So, Fate Hollow Academy. So, she has 7 dudes. Like, they all just fall in line, one after the other, pining after her. So, like, she's this sweet, cute, Arctic fox shifter whose parents died and has a really tragic, sad backstory. And, yeah. And she's really lovable, I guess. So, she has white hair, I think. She looks unique. So, book 1 begins with her talking to one of her mates, who was not her mates at the time yet. They were just friends. But they were obviously in love with each other. But each to their own. And his name is Thorn. I don't remember all of their names, but I remember a few of them. My favorite one is Damien. He's like the demon. So, yeah. This is the like most protective of her. It's given kind of stalker. Like, this book has so many tropes. Like, it has a stalker trope because Damien is the stalker and he follows her in the shadows. And he protects her at all costs. So his thing is like protecting her. He's super protective of her. And yeah, he's like, when they first get to Hollow Academy, he's like one of the first ones who take a really strong liking to her. So how she finds out she's going to the academy is she meets the alpha of the pack that she's staying with, because her parents died and her mom was a part of this pack. And her mom left her with her aunt, who's also her mom's best friend, when she died. This pack absolutely hates this girl for whatever reason. But I think it's because she's not like fully a shifter wolf or whatever they want to call her. And she's that Arctic fox shifter. So they hated her dad. And which means that it's generational hate. So they just hate her too because she had a dad. Oh well. But basically isolate her in this pact, and nobody's allowed to talk to her unless like they go where she works. And she's basically a herbalist pharmacist. I'm not a pharmacist, but like with herbs, so herbalist, right? So they're only allowed to talk to her when they go and they're looking for herbs to like and medicine to heal them. Like, that's the only way she talks to her. So she's in this forest one day and she sees the alpha son, the future alpha, right? And he is a bitch. Ugh. How many times have I called dudes a bitch in this episode? I thought bookmen were supposed to be dreamy. Not all of them. Some of them are bitches, okay? Right? And you know which book I should talk about? Because I did start reading The Haunted Adeline. Like, what a book. Oh my gosh. Like, it's such an oxymoron. It contradicts itself so much, okay? Because, like, how are you rescuing women and kids who have been kidnapped but stalks and basically torment this woman? Anyways, back to Fate Hollow Academy. So they meet and they're like, and then you know how like the wolves in them or whatever screams mate, that happens. And he says some foul shit just before rejecting her. So she's like, hey, I'm not going to take this. I reject you too. And then the alpha's coming. And then, like, he has a mark. So, like, how you get chosen to go to this academy is this mark shows up on a part of your body. So he was leaving for the academy anyways. So later that day, his parents with them bitch ass selves come down to her aunt's place and was like, why you reject your son? And she's like, he rejected first. And he's like, but he could have taken back the rejection, but now he can't have me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, it was your son who rejected her first. What the heck is she doing? And like, you could just say to her, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, they're so irritating. And then stupid ass Alice never stands up for her. And then, but like right before they show up, the Fate Hollow Academy mark shows up on her thigh. Which is good, because that means she can get away from those awful people who really did not care or give a single flying anything about her. So, I'm glad that she's accepted into this academy, right? Now, not only but here's also what else happened. So Thorn, you know, the bestie from before, yeah, he's also going to that academy. So on her way there, she's just in the snow and she's just there and like, because they're like, oh, because the parents are like, leave right now, we don't want you here, you've been exiled, you've been banished from this pack, right? And she's like, fine, whatever, and she leaves. Anyways, they're like extremely ungrateful because she's been the herbalist, she's been giving people medication and healing people because she's a herbalist, right? And they just didn't even give her the grace to like give her like a day to pack. They were like, leave right now. I'm like, ugh. Anyways, they're annoying. So she's in the snow and her friend Thorn finds her and he's like, why are you doing the snow? And so he sits there and he places her on his lap and he's like, what's wrong? And she tells him that they kicked her out of the pact and that she got accepted into and that she got the mark to go into the university, the academy, yeah, right? And then the wolf, who's her rejected mate, right, he comes out and he's like growling at them and just making a fool of himself. Anyways, fast forward, they get to the academy and the first thing she meets is this vampire professor. Anyways, he likes her. From that first moment, he laid his eyes on her. He likes her. Moving on, Thorn gets a little jealous and like, let's go. And then it turns out, then they go and they get their rooms, and Thorn and what's her name again? Why do I not remember her name? What's her name? It's really odd that I don't remember her name. Her name is Wren, which is, if you've watched A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, not watched, read it, you know that the main character, that's also my favorite book. So if you've read it, then you know that her name is Wren, which is odd how I didn't remember her name, but her name is Wren, right? Oh, by the way, this is a multiple POV book, so each and every, like, one of them, like the mates, plus her, so like 8 POVs. There's pretty much 8 POVs, but it's mostly her point of view, since she's the ultimate main character anyways. But, you know, what's disgusting is that because she's bonded to, like, because she has, like, 7 mates, also, like, other dudes think that she's easy and she's a whore and she's this and that. So they make disgusting comments to her, and it's just really nasty. And so, like, 2 of her mates, Damien and Thorn, Damien's, like, I've jumped too far. But Damien and Thorn, like, they actively are, like, so what does Thorn do? Thorn, he's an ice fae and he makes deals with other people, right? So he goes into contracts with these other dudes because he's trying to keep her safe. But Damien just straight up threatened them and, like, kind of roughed them around a bit. That's what Damien does. Damien is like, you know, Damien gives mafia vibes, but it's whatever. He's a shadow demon and he feeds off of people's pains or whatever. So yeah, but when she's feeling pain, he takes her pain away from her. Like, that's what he does. So he is very protective of her. So let's move it on to, like, when they just come to their comes to the academy and they're getting in their rooms. Back to that now. So they're getting their rooms and they realize, oh, they don't have the same room, but their rooms are right next to each other. But the thing is, Thorn is rooming with the rejected mate, her rejected mate. What's his name? I don't remember his name. He's such an insignificant character. He's so ghetto. And he basically goes crazy throughout this process because he has his one girlfriend who's also roommates with them. So Thorn's other roommates, other than Wren's rejected, there's a lot of names to keep up with this in this book, but I only remember like the headmaster who's a dragon. What's his name? I don't know. Honestly, I could just look at the chapters and see. No, never mind. It's whatever. But yeah. So he's like the headmaster. So the headmaster of the school counselor, the vampire teacher. That's like 3 members of faculty that she has as her mates. And then she has, I don't know what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. But basically, one of her mates can bring back, people from the dead. I don't remember what they're called. And her best friend is a witch called Trixie that is also rooming with her. Most of her mates are rooming with her anyways, except for Trixie, who's her bestie. But all the other roommates that she shares the room with is her mates. And then the room next to her is her mates. Well, like 2 of them, is it 2 of them or 3 of them from the other room are her mates, except for her ex-mates, new girlfriend, and the ex-mate. So it's kind of confusing because I never be remembering their names like that. But yeah, and then there's this one teacher that's basically sexually harassing everybody. Not like everybody, but like most of the male faculty members and some of the students. She's just so annoying. Like nobody wants her. Like they actively are telling this woman that they don't want her, and she's just trying to push herself onto them. Anyways, she's kind of fired. So yeah, she'll be leaving at the end of the term. But I'm at book 2 in this series right now. Yeah. Do I have anything else to say about this? I'm gonna give them a rank after. I believe I gave all of these books 4 stars, but I think I'm gonna rank them after I'm finished talking about Fate Hollow Academy. Basically, all of her mates except Thorn really have a traumatic. Not really traumatic, but they have background issues. They have issues, okay? So for the dragon, his parents died trying to protect him because he's a fire dragon, and not that, or is it the other way around? Anyways, his parents died. So like the whole dragon, what do you call that? Council? I don't know what you call that. But the whole dragons, like they killed his parents, but his parents tried to save him, so he fled to where he built the school, right? And then we have the incubus demon school counselor. So basically, with his pheromones, he killed the love of his life because he was angry at her or something. And then he has a stalker who's also kind of stalking Wren too, because the stalker wants to be Wren. Yeah, it's all kind of crazy. But yeah, he has a stalker too. His stalker killed like the first girlfriend, and then he accidentally killed the love of his life. No, I think the stalker killed the love of his life, and then he got a new girlfriend, and then he accidentally killed her because, with his pheromones, because she was basically trying to sexually assault him when he was not in the mood, right? And then, who's next? Damien. Damien has a thing with humans now. So he was actually, captured, was it? He made friends with a human, and then they betrayed him and captured him, and kind of tortured him for a while. So that's Damien's trauma. Who's next? For the one that can bring people from the dead, so his mom is dead, and he has beef with his dad because they brought his mom back alive, even though his mom didn't want to be back alive, if that makes sense. So yeah, he has beef with his family. They're kind of trash. I don't remember the other one. The other one is a wolf shifter. I don't remember his trauma. Thorn doesn't really have any trauma, but what's notable is that his Fae Ice Kingdom, he's like the heir for the Ice Kingdom. He's the Fae Ice Prince, right? So he has beef with the Fire Ice Prince. Not Fire Ice Prince, the Fae Fire. Oh my god. The Fae Fire Prince. He has beef with him. They were besties, but now they have beef because their kingdoms are at war with each other, on the edge of war. And yeah, fun fact. So the Fire Fae Prince who has beef with Thorn basically dated Trixie to get close to Wren because he wanted to like hurt Thorn. So he wanted to hurt Thorn through Wren. And then they found out, and like obviously all her mates put him in his place and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for like little tragic-ish backstories, or like little backstories for her mates. And I already said hers, so yeah. But yeah, she's deathly afraid of humans because it was a human who killed her mom and then killed her dad. It was humans who killed her parents, and she's afraid of them. She's not like them, obviously. And now in this book, so they have so these humans have like modified themselves to not really be humans anymore, but they're still humans. It's kind of crazy. And it's fun, and there's no bully romance. It's like if you like books where they're all kind of obsessed, be like instantly obsessed with her and like is like instantly in love with her, then it's for you. It was like a really sweet moment. There's a lot of intimacy though. Because she has 7 maids. What do you expect? There's a lot of intimacy. So let's rank them. I think I don't know. Let me tell you what I do like though. So I like for Fate Hollow Academy, I like that they're all like obsessed with her. I like that she gets a happy ending in the love story. I don't know if she actually got a happy ending, but so far it's going good for her. So it got better for her. You know, she has now like a team of people that supports her, because essentially she was just lonely in like the past. She was just like lonely, but now she has like a team supporting her. Like she can find family within them. You know what I mean? They're all her mates anyway, so it's whatever. For the Aran one, I like that Aran was determined to be successful. I did not like the misogyny. I did not like that. There's nothing in Fate Hollow Academy with Wren that I didn't really like. For Wren's story, there's nothing I didn't really like in there, except for how determined the ex-mate was. Like, he was just way too determined. For someone who rejected her, he was just a bitch about it. You know what I mean? Maybe it was like his ego or something. But yeah. For Aran's story, I don't like how misogynistic the dudes were, like, bro. And then they have a lot of groveling too, because I don't like any of them except Aran, because he was like the only one that was like nice to her. So yeah. But why can't she just date all of them though? Like, why can't she just date both the twins, which I believe were John and Luca, plus the 3 of them? Because I don't like... Oh, what I forgot to mention was her dad, Lakthor, whatever his name is, the demon vampire, whatever he is, right? Her dad, she bounded the three dudes to her by a tattoo. So yeah, she's kind of a bitch. I don't like the dad. I really don't like the dad. But yeah, for Psycho, what is that called? For Psychos? For Paca's story, or Apocalypse's story, what I didn't like, how stuck up and rude they were to her in the beginning. Obviously, she's not can't too trust people, but she wasn't really a threat. Like, she even saved them. Like, the amount of times she was like risking herself to protect them in like the beginning, and they were still being little bitches to her. So I think that's what I didn't like. But I did like that eventually they got together. There was a lot of it where they were just being bitches to her. So yeah, I don't think I finished all 4 books, but I finished maybe 3 or 2.5. It's probably 2.5. You know, I read most of the book to form my opinion on the book, I guess. So, the first two that I talked about were bully romances, and the last one was not really. So I think bully, and as a bully romance, it already was down on my list anyways. So I think the two bully romances, so I think Aran's story and Apocalypse's stories are tied, and then the winner is even though I want to finish the rest of Aran's book, but I think the winner is obviously Wren. So anyways, thank you for listening. Have a enjoyable rest of your day. Bye.